Hi guys, Suntouch here. We're going to be doing a brief gun guide today. Going to be giving over some basics of each of the weapons to try and help you guys in your games find out which gun's best to use in what scenarios, okay? On to the SKS. Now this is probably the favorite automatic sniper of people I've been talking to. You really kind of just want to use this with an 8 or a 4x, I would recommend. You know, you can use it close range, but it's not like ideal close range because the recoil is kind of like a bit nuts. It's something that you can shoot people if they're running 200, 300 meters away. You know, it's got a very fast velocity on the gun. You know, if someone's peeking you on trees, you can basically just be pecking them away. And then with an 8x, it's even easier. You can just basically just get people who are peeking their heads, deal really big damage to them nice and quick, nice and safely. The one disadvantage of this gun is it does require quite a lot of attachments. You need a cheek pad, you need a compensator, you need the grip. Otherwise this gun's kind of hard to control. But if you can get the SKS early, get those attachments, compensator, grip are the most important by far. The extended mag is quite important. The cheek pad's actually the least important. It does the least for the gun. But if you can just get a grip and a compensator, even with 10 bullets, it's still quite powerful if you get the extended quick draw even more. It's something that's used quite a lot in competitive play. The Orm is basically the best sniper in the game. It's something you should always be picking up. It's super powerful. The reason is it has the fastest bullet velocity in the game, which means you typically don't even have to lead your shots unless you're shooting over like 300, 400, 500 meters. This thing's going to pretty much just hit on the money almost every single time. As you can see, it's hitting this tree. This is quite a far distance, and you don't have to aim up or down. You just aim on the target, and you can see it's pretty accurate. The other thing I'll show you, which sometimes you'll find in crates, is the 15x. Now this thing is nuts. You can see very far with it. As you can see, the accuracy of the gun. You can zoom in and out with this scope as well as the 8x. Show you on the M24. You can zoom out. So this is basically what a 4x would look like. And this is quite useful if you're, let's say you know someone's on a tree, but you want to have a good view of what's around him in case he has a teammate. You can zoom in, but if you want to be really focused on that one spot, you can zoom in. And that's the same with the 15x. Another thing to mention is if you're using a Canon E8, which we did mention earlier, this is something I didn't know when I was first getting into the game, is that if you're aiming far and you left click once, you're going to come out of the gun, right? So we don't really know where the bullet went. Now if we hold left click when shooting, as you can see, we stay in the scope so we can see where the bullet went. Why is this important? Because if you're shooting a target who's far away, like let's say we're shooting at the top of the mountain, there's a guy peeking his head, and we shoot, we want to see where the bullet goes so we can adjust our aim. Now you may ask, how do you adjust your aim? There's not really a specific way you can do it. You can use zeroing on the map, so you could be like, the top of the mountain is 1, 2, 3, 4 squares away. That's 400 meters, so we need to, if we're basically every dot on the scope is 100 meters, the black dots. So if we're trying to shoot someone 400 meters away, we'd aim the fourth black dot on top of the guy's head, and then we would shoot. The only problem with that is depending on elevation, everything changes. So it's something that you just kind of got to get a feel for. If you're higher up, shooting down, you need to lead less because your bullet's dropping from the mountain. If you're aiming just on like a flat surface like this, you're going to be just nice and accurate at up to 100 meters. The second thing that I didn't know about was zeroing. So what zeroing is when you're aiming down your scope, on the bottom you'll see if I press page up or page down, we can adjust the zeroing of the weapon. Now what that means is, what we just talked about with the dots, we basically, if we have if we up our zeroing to 200 meters, now our red dot is basically the first black dot instead. We're just moving the dots up one. So we can just aim, if we're aiming at a target who's 200 meters away, we can basically just aim the red dot on him now, because we up the zeroing. Now let's say a target's 300 meters away. I don't know what's the 300 meter target here. We gotta move a little bit. Let's say we're aiming 300 meters, maybe to this house. It's probably more like 200 meters, but you get the drift. We can page up, and now our bullet's gonna hit exactly on the 300. Oh, it's actually a little bit further than I thought, but whatever. It's fine. You can see though. So now we up our zeroing to 400 meters with the red dot. As you can see, it goes a little bit higher. If we put our zeroing down to 200 meters and aim at the same spot, you can see the bullet goes a little bit lower. So that's basically what zeroing is. It's quite simple. Not everyone needs to use it, because as we just discussed, what you can do is you can just aim 100 meters, hold left click. Oh, our bullet's gone too low. Now we go aim again, and we aim a little bit higher, and now we're good. So as you can see, there's the adjustment. The reasons that I personally use zeroing over I've my friends who don't use it, it's because I feel like once you hit that sweet spot in a building and you find exactly how many meters it is, you don't have to think as much. You just have to aim on the target and hit them, rather than have to think, oh, I need to aim high, I need to aim left and high, and you just have to aim like you would normally aim. The only downside is, do not forget to change your zeroing back, because if you forget to change it, you have a bad time. If you have 1,000 meter zeroing and someone's 100 meters away, you're gonna miss. As you can see, it's quite bad. Like, this is me aiming down. Look at where the bullet hits. So do not forget to change your zeroing back if you're aiming at a target close. Otherwise, your bullet just goes nowhere near where you want to go. So that's the sniper rifles. They all have a function, but I would say the SKS is definitely the primary go-to that you really need to like learn it. So you need to get out there and practice with it to get good with it. Don't just use it once and be like, oh, I hate this gun. It's definitely good, but you need to put in some practice. And once you get good with it, it's very, very strong.